Hi everyone, this is your friend Rahul, and let's catch up. Let me share my screen and we can take it from there. Okay, so what are we having here? So we'll discuss three topics today. One is going to be the Core-5, a new rabbit of the hat of Mr. Trump. Second would be how uh, Pax Silica is going to be constructed. Again, we are talking of clubs here. I think he's interested in clubs. And then Relicos. Coming to the first one, Core 5. मुझे लगता है हम लोग अब सारे क्लब क्लब खेल रहे हैं एंड दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द न्यू एग्जॉटिक क्लब विद इंडियन स्पाइसेस ऑन द टॉप ये कुछ और नाम नहीं रख सकते थे या ग्रेट फाइव्स बिकॉज और जी फाइव्स I think he wants to create, that's why Core 5 or the Strong 5, he wanted to name it. I don't know what was the analogy. The leaked documents or from the Politico, the information that we have got is, or we have understood is, Trump administration is trying to build another club where he wants to include, and the participation is very peculiar. India, China, Russia, Japan, US. Can you think of more vernacular, you can say, team where China and America can sit together, India and China can sit together and get things done, or US and Russia can sit together and get things done? I don't know what is the role of Japan and why it is there. Maybe top five economies or something on those lines. Who knows what happens in that orange head? But meanwhile, it was not a long back when Donald Trump had said that US lost India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. Now, add Japan to it, if I can call sushi, with dumplings and burgers. It's not even a feast. Anyways, jokes apart, let's talk about what is the proposal all about. I think it's more to do with Middle East, getting things resolved here, and these are the countries who have really good sphere of influence, getting things aligned to Western order in, you can say, Gulf of Malacca to the contested islands in Japan. So Japan and Russia comes into the picture. Arctic can be one of the another element, and there are others, and we can talk in the third segment that India is also becoming a player there. I think it's more about capability, capacity, and the scale. India, China has capacity and scale. Capability still, it's very limited because these are regional power, or the China wants to assert it's a global power but doesn't disclose it. Again, long story short, it's still rising power. Big powers are who have the capability is Russia and US. US being a hyperpower, I always say that. So this new C5, pardon me, is it can be a figment of imagination. It may happen, it may not happen. Who knows? But a little drama is going to, as if our life was less exciting. So this tadaka and drama have been added. I don't know. Japan is the fries, which is on the side for the whole buffet, but this is one area we have to keep a close watch. If this comes into the picture, let me tell you, G7 is not going to be important. The G20 may lose its status, and Donald Trump is already making things happen on that line. And to a certain extent, it's a message to Europe as well. They are not important. And it gives you a mindset of Trump that he doesn't see Europe as an important player. In certain sense, yes, there are certain countries he's interested in, and he wants to split and chop that, pick the right ones for the right groups so that he can see a world in a certain order. But from, you can say, global Indian, you can say, point of view, right now, this doesn't make sense. India would like to be part of it because there's all the clubs that India would want to be part of it, because you need a seat on the table to put your message out. You need a seat on the table to make sure that you are heard and you react. You have right to react. You have right to comment. You have the right to assert, and you have right to provide your thoughts. But in all this, I don't know what US will be benefiting from, because this is the most dysfunctional grouping I have imagined. Even at the time of G8 and G7, China was not there. It seems like he wants to recreate something like a UN without Europe, because he sees, as I specifically mean Trump, he sees he sees Europe as diminishing power, rich but diminishing power. There are some small countries which can be of value, but not as a great power. And over the, you can say, course of his presidentship, what I have understood is he respects power, he respects he respects money, and the countries who have it, he respects them. Now he may put some tariffs, he'll throw some tantrums, all that, but underlying, he only bullies those who take it. And I think these are the countries who have not taken it, and I can stand corrected in when we talk about Japan. I don't know in what context Japan plays a critical role, or why Japan is there. There can be Korea, there can be other countries, but why Japan? Still a puzzle for me. And since there is no policy document on this, maybe printer has run out in Washington or Pentagon. I have no idea. So let's keep it there, but we'll keep a watch over it. बहुत important है, ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. Second is Pax Silica. ये एक और ग्रुपिंग बनी हुई है आजकल. मुझे लगता है द न्यू फ्लेवर इन टाउन इज काफी सारी ग्रुपिंग बनाना, एंड दिस इज वन मोर ग्रुप US is dancing around, and it's more official than the last one. कुछ ना policy details भी आए हैं, and again to my surprise, the way it has been constructed, I'm still trying to grapple कि ये क्या करना चाहते हैं. ये वेस्टर्न ऑर्डर को कंटेन करना चाहते हैं, सस्टेन करना चाहते हैं. आई अंडरस्टैंड. ओके, लेट मी टेक अ स्टेप बैक. आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प वांट्स टू डू इट, बिकॉज जो पहले ऑयल हुआ करता था, ये अब आपके रेयर अर्थ होते हैं, एंड चाइना हैज शोन दैट ही हैज grabbed their marbles in both hands, or in his right hands. But to counter all this and make sure that monopoly is there, when I say he, that means Donald Trump and US have brought in Japan technology, South Korea manufacturing of semiconductors, Singapore maybe funds, Netherlands that fabrication technology and specific niche technology that it brings in vis-a-vis AI chips. UK, Israel, UAE is going to fund, Australia from the mining. So I understand, but if you put all them together, none of them have a skill set capability to run it. So in his mindset, when I his, that means US mindset, is it that okay, we'll keep India out, Let's not bring in India into the new revolution that we are going to bring in. India is already on the high on the tech. Let's de-Indianize it as part of the de-Indianization of US, because if he loops in India, this is going to be one big, you can say, policy disaster that he thinks would be there, because again, Indian talent has to do it. But my question is, if Indian talent is not there, who is going to do it? Is Japan going to give those techies, or Korea, or UK? Apart from grooming, I don't have not seen anything from UK coming really substantial. But again, that's a conversation for some other day. I'm still not clear how this Pax Silica is going to work. If it is like, okay, we'll keep a VIP club, we'll only have access, we can give conditional access to the countries whom we like, maybe, maybe not, God knows. The third point in this one is, if Israel is there, if UAE is there, why not Taiwan? Because they want to help China, or he is too afraid of China. I don't know. Even this grouping, I'm not too sure what US is trying to achieve by keeping critical players out. You can ignore India. You can see. I'll not say ignore. You can hate India. You can like India, but you bloody can't ignore India, because world on the technology side only runs is run by Indians. So if you want to keep them out, you think that is a shelf that they can access anytime, or maybe in future when they have a trade deal with India, they will US can do a favor and bring India inside. I don't know. Can be possible, cannot be possible. I have no faith in this structure coming in. I don't have so much faith it will work in the tandem that he it intends to be. So let's play club, and this is one other club, another one. Maybe more VIP, maybe more formalized, maybe there is more policy documents available, maybe. But there's a lot of maybe in this. So let this evolve, and we'll see what exactly it transpires to be. But right now, I don't see this group making any dent when it comes to hitting China. China takes more than 90% of the, you can say, core elements when it comes to AI minerals, and cleaning them, making sure things happen. So I don't know. Let's see. Last but not least, which I want to have a detailed discussion with you guys, is reloss. अब ये reloss देखने में तो एक छोटा सा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ब्यूरोक्रेटिक डॉक्यूमेंट लगता है, जो रशिया आया और इंडिया के साथ साइन करके चला गया, या पैक्ट बना के चला गया 8 दिसंबर को. बट वाई आफ्टर साइनिंग दिस, यूएस का कोर टीम इंडिया आके बैठ के बात करना स्टार्ट किया, वो थ्रेटन कर रहा है, वो बात कर रहा है कि वी नीड टू मेक श्योर दैट इंडिया अंडरस्टैंड इट्स क्रॉसिंग द लाइन ऑफ leave it to adversary and all that stuff. And there can be multiple things. जितना अमेरिका इंडिया को इस पे पुश करेगा, इंडिया उतना रशिया को एक्सेस देगा. बट टू get to that conversation, let's understand what reloss means. Reloss means that both India and Russia will have access of each other's ports and MRO facilities for shipping. Now, what that means is a Russian submarine can be fixed, refilled, or replenished in Indian ports. वॉर और नॉन वॉर, जो अभी पोर्ट्स खाली नाम के लिए हैं बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव एन रेवेन्यू, those ports would be functional and providing services to Russia. ठीक है, but how does it change things and why it can reshape the world order? मैं इतनी बड़ी बड़ी बातें क्यों कर रहा हूँ ना? टिल नाउ एक लिमिटेशन थी रशिया की कि वो वार्म वाटर्स में नहीं आ सकता है। उसकी एक बहुत दिली तमन्ना थी कि वो वार्म वाटर्स में आके अपना काम कर सके। सैंक्शंस हो गए अभी। नाउ दैट वाज इन सोवियत era. Now come to 2025. Russia has been grappled with sanctions. जो मर्जी सैंक्शन जहां पे लिखा हुआ है वो रशिया पे मार दिया। Now to make sure that Russia crashes under its weight, oil embargoes भी लगने start हो गए। Now what does that mean from the supply chain point of view? Western insurance companies will not be helping them, shipping companies will not be helping them, technology companies will not be helping them, and repair companies will not be providing spare parts to the ships which are there, which include the chips and everything. Now, that has limited the Russian capability to trade with something like India or in Africa and other countries, because to reach, you need to replenish your, you can say, naval assets. There are two, three ways of doing it. One is the American way. The American way is, we are a rich country, we can afford it. Let's put a aircraft carrier as a floating city and let them do it. Floating city, why I say said that? Because उसकी अपनी एयरफोर्स है, उसकी अपनी आर्मी है, उसके अपने नेवल कमांड्स हैं। अपने में छोटा मोटा कंट्री वो छोड़ देते हैं। सुनने में बड़ा फैसिनेटिंग लगता है, बट दिस इज द कंट्री which has an open checkbook. They have to only print dollars. World pays for it. They don't, so they rule. तो उनकी शेप, उनका सब कुछ, उनकी टेक्नोलॉजी, they are there. Nobody else can replicate. Second is यूरोपियन, जो भी पोस्ट कलोनियल रेमिनेंट्स उनके पास बचे हुए हैं, इंडियन ओशन रीजन में कुछ आइलैंड्स हैं या कहीं पे उनकी अभी कॉलोनीज हैं, वहां पे उन लोगों ने अपने पोर्ट्स बना रखे हैं, एंड दैट्स हाउ दे assert their, you can say, navigation and make sure that things happen or the sea routes are safe. Third way is which China is exploring is string or pearls. Similar to US, you will have naval bases across like Djibouti, like Gwadar and all, and you can access them. But that comes with a bigger, you can say, ticket price, because you need to maintain it, you need to fund it, and these countries don't give their shipping terminals for free. They want cash in return because most of them are strategically important but practically poor, like Pakistan. So you need to carry their weight, keep them happy with some cash, so that your naval base is running. Yes, China can afford it. China is doing it, but string of pearls is, that is the, you can say, one model. The new model that India model, the model that India has, you can say, crafted well and templatized, is okay. Fair enough. You are with limited resources. I'm with limited resources, but I'm very good in where I am in Indian Ocean region. You cannot have anything done without India's consent. Indian Navy is that much strong. It cannot exert its capabilities maybe in Pacific Ocean. But when it comes to Indian Ocean, India is the house. And no matter what whosoever plays the hand, house always wins. India is that. But it has a limitation. It cannot exert the same kind of, you can say, operational capability in South China Sea or Pacific Ocean or somewhere in Arctics. That's where Russia has and India has signed RELICO. Now, what it does is Russia doesn't need Western, you can say, insurance companies because they need not to travel so long and they can introduce their own insurance companies because they know the logistics. Second is they don't need ships from West or the components from West that can be supplied from China. And since the operational capabilities of these ships are limited because of the access in Indian ports, you can repair them. India has access to that. India can make sure that their ships are running, their fuels are tight, everything is there, and and their oil shipment is coming to India without any problem. Now, on a larger scale, if you zoom out and see what India and Russia has done, is there is a quid pro quo kind of a thing. Russia has given access of Arctic, you can say, area to India. Okay, let's explore there. So it's not uh, based of good heart or we are in love and Russia and India are very good friends. To an extent, yes, but there's always a business. Russia lacks the capability from the manpower perspective. Russia lacks the capability to market access perspective. You can build beautiful factories there. If there are no buyers, what is that good for? And India is the one of the countries who have scale, size, capability, and endurance to sustain Western pressures. And in return, what Russia is asking for two, three things, or have got two, three things, and that is with their regional or global aspiration. If you see from the Soviet era standpoint, they always wanted access of the warm waters. Why? Because as long as you don't have access to warm waters, you will not be able to uh, dictate or control the global shipping lines like what US is doing or West is doing. Now, this in these global shipping lines, China is already there with certain string of pearls. India is a big player in Indo-Pacific. All shipping lines are there. Uh, America with their own aircraft carriers. You may say they are limited, but they have their own ports nearby, like in Qatar, like in UAE. They can refill or replenish that. So they are there, and plus the old colonial powers like France and UK also have some bit islands there. Now Russia is coming into the clutter, but Russia is not a small player. It's a military superpower. It is not an army economic superpower, but when it comes to real hard defenses or hard power, Russia is kind of a number two. You cannot mess with it. So the only thing which was deterring them to come into the Indian Ocean was distance, capacity. They don't have aircraft. The the naval assets, aircraft carriers, which can bring them to the Indian Ocean. So they have, and you have to understand, both India and Russia are not, they are good size economies, multi-trillion dollar economies, but they are not China or US as of now. When they will be, how it will be, let's keep it to the some others discussion. But if we go back and see what exactly we're trying to say is This is most cost efficient way of exerting power. India has now one more option to exercise, and it changes the world order to a certain extent and makes it multipolar. The global south gets activated. Russia gets access, sea line access to Africa. Russia gets sea line access to Middle East. Now, as soon as this Relco comes into picture and start getting traction on the ground and things start moving, once it's scaled up, Russia would be a big player when it comes to negotiating with West because it will have access to Middle East, it will have access to Africa. It can extend its access to Africa because already there are certain countries in Africa which are pro China, if not pro China, at least politically aligned with Russian political philosophy. So, to reach that place and make sure that it can double down on the, you can say, the support as well as making sure uh, Russia can exercise their power, they need to reach not by craft but by ship, and this Relico provides it, and that's why you can see there is lot of anxiety in US because now India is trying to break the dollar hegemony with this because now you can freely trade with Russia. Their ships can easily come to India. They don't need any Western support to happen, and West will never know how much. Obviously they can put some satellites, they can do a micromanagement, they can do a lot of stuff, but track to track everything, for example how much oil India has purchased or how much whatever India has exported, it becomes very difficult to map if you don't have a dollar domination in between. Did India started it? No, but I am thinking that the way it has turned out is, since India has taken a step back, saw what are all options available. Now, India has been put under pressure with tariffs A, B, and C, and India has been saying, buddy, we are non West, not anti West. Treat us like that. But Donald Trump is looking India as, okay, these are East guys, brown guys, not interested. They should not be here. They should not be our partners. They should not be near to me. Now, that has made India realize if today Trump can do it, somebody of same thought process can do it much worse. So the reliance has to be reduced. So that's why you don't see a lot of anxiety in India to, you can say, minimize the tariffs. Okay, tariffs are there, it's hurting, it's hurting. So what, we need to find new markets. We like it or we don't like it. US was and is the biggest market that we trade with, but again, if things are not supposed to be aligned, we will still trade, we'll still try to expand it like China is doing it with US. It's not that they have closed the doors, but we need to have an alternative ways and making sure that dependency is so high that we can press the pedal like China is doing. In the course of things, maybe India is not strong enough right now, but the intent of India is to become strong, and Relos can be one of the key steps that India has taken. And India should actually thank Trump for doing and supporting in this because had Trump not put pressure on India, had there not been so much tariff, India would have been reluctant in you can say signing such kind of a pacts because there was enough to lose, or the perception was there was enough to lose from the relationship, and the relationship was going good. Now, Indian students cannot go there. H1B is under scrutiny. You don't want Indian products. You're tightening screws on services. You know what, sir? Thank you very much, but no thank you. I think that is what India has been saying in a subtle way. If America gets it, fair enough. If America thinks that it can double down, okay, I can increase the tariff, it doesn't matter. It's 50 or 500, because if the product is costly, it's costly, it's non sellable. Now, the Indian Apple, if it is a 500 bucks or 5,000 bucks, it doesn't make a difference, it will not be sold. So increasing tariff actually doesn't make any sense, any logic. But if they want to do it, please go and do it. It doesn't matter, because you have already chipped off the, you can say, any ability to save. Number one. Number two, if they want to double down, for example, they may find some A, B, or C ways that India is still making some good bucks. They want to stop it. Like maybe their old good friend Mexico can come and say, hey, you cannot trade with us. Fair enough. We have to see that thing as well. But is India ready? I think damn India is. India is ready to bite the bullet, because half a bullet has already been bought. If you think Europe will come for rescue, I wouldn't be a big fan here, because Trump is also thinking ceasefire. Trump is also thinking Pax Silica. Things don't match up, and Russia can play a critical role there. So let's keep watching this one. This is going to be something critical. Have a nice day. Bye. हाँ तो